You're standing in a crowded room, surrounded by voices, laughter, movement, and noise, and somehow you still feel alone. That doesn't make sense. You are physically close to people. Your brain can see them. Your ears can hear them. Your body is in the middle of it all. But the feeling is still there. A quiet distance. A strange disconnect. A sense that you are separate from everyone else, even while being right beside them. Why? Because the real answer is far stranger. Your brain was never designed for crowds like this. It was designed for something much smaller, much slower, much more intimate. For almost all of human history, you didn't live among hundreds or thousands of people. You lived in a group of maybe 30 to 50 individuals, a tribe, a tight circle, a group where every face was familiar, every voice recognizable, and every relationship deeply understood. You didn't just know people, you knew them completely. Who they trusted, who they feared, who they loved, who they avoided. You knew their stories, their habits, their moods, their past. And more importantly, they knew yours. So when you walked into a space, you weren't scanning strangers. You were entering a web of meaning. Now compare that to today. You walk into a room, or scroll through a feed, or sit in a classroom, or stand in a city, and you see faces, hundreds of them. But your brain doesn't recognize them as people in the same way. It can't. Because your brain has a limit. Anthropologist Robin Dunbar studied this exact problem and found something fascinating. There is a cognitive limit to the number of stable social relationships your brain can maintain. That number is around 150. This is now known as Dunbar's number. But even within that 150, only a small core group truly matters. Around 5 people you are deeply connected to. Around 15 you trust. Around 50 you interact with regularly. Everyone else? They become background. And yet modern life forces you into constant contact with far more than that. So what happens? Your brain starts filtering. It reduces people to shapes, to movement, to noise. It stops processing them as meaningful individuals. And when that happens, connection disappears. Even though people are everywhere, you feel alone. Because your brain isn't actually connecting to anyone. But that's only part of it. There's something even deeper happening. Something older, something buried in your biology. For your ancestors, being alone wasn't just uncomfortable. It was dangerous. Really dangerous. If you were separated from your group, your chances of survival dropped dramatically. No shared food, no protection, no warning signals, no help if you were injured. Alone meant vulnerable, and vulnerable meant death. So your brain evolved a system, a warning signal, a feeling designed to push you back toward connection. That feeling is loneliness. Neuroscientist John Cacioppo spent years studying loneliness and discovered that it behaves almost exactly like physical pain. It's not just emotional, it's biological. It activates similar neural pathways as hunger or injury. It demands attention. It forces you to notice it, because it's trying to protect you. But here's the problem. That system hasn't changed. Your environment has. Your brain still uses loneliness as a signal that you are socially disconnected, but it doesn't understand modern social structures. It doesn't understand crowds, or followers, or digital interaction, or surface-level conversation. It only understands one thing: meaningful connection. So you can be surrounded by people and still trigger the same alarm. Because your brain doesn't measure proximity. It measures depth. And most modern interactions lack that depth. They are brief, polite, fragmented, distracted. You talk, but you don't reveal much. You listen, but only partially. You engage, but without vulnerability. And your brain notices. Even if you don't consciously think about it, it registers the absence of true connection, and it interprets that absence as isolation. So the alarm goes off. You feel alone, even in a crowd. But there's another layer, something even more subtle. Your brain is constantly predicting social outcomes. Psychologist Matthew Lieberman found that your brain treats social connection as a basic need, just like food or water. But it doesn't just want connection, it wants safe connection. It wants certainty. When your ancestors interacted with their small group, they knew where they stood, their role, their value, their place. There was stability. But modern social environments are unpredictable. You don't know how people see you. You don't know what they think. You don't know if you belong. So your brain becomes cautious. It holds back. It avoids risk. Because social rejection, in evolutionary terms, used to be catastrophic. And even though it's not anymore, your brain still treats it that way. So instead of reaching out deeply, you stay on the surface. You protect yourself. And ironically, that protection creates the very feeling you're trying to avoid. Disconnection, loneliness, distance. So you end up in a strange loop. You want connection, but you avoid the behaviors that create it. Because your brain is trying to keep you safe. But safe isn't always connected. And this is where the paradox becomes clear. You are more socially surrounded than any human in history, but less deeply connected. And your brain feels that gap. Not as a thought, but as a feeling. A quiet sense that something is missing. A subtle tension. A question you can't quite answer. Why do I feel alone? But here's the twist. The solution is not more people. It's fewer, deeper, slower. Because your brain doesn't need a crowd. It needs a tribe. Even today, even in the modern world, even in the middle of a city, that ancient system is still running. Still searching, still asking the same question it asked thousands of years ago. Who is truly with you? Who knows you? Who would notice if you disappeared? And when you don't have a clear answer, the feeling returns, not to hurt you, but to guide you, to push you towards something real. Because loneliness is not proof that something is wrong with you. It's proof that something important is missing. And once you understand that, the feeling changes. It stops being a mystery and becomes a signal, a direction, a quiet reminder that even in a crowded room, your brain is still searching for something much older than all of this, something smaller, something deeper, something real. And maybe that's why, standing in that crowded room, surrounded by voices, laughter, movement, and noise, you still feel alone.